Hey, it's me, Renee. I'm back. Today I'm starting a new video series. Not exactly, but kind of. Okay, I'm renaming something. So if you've been here for a while, which I suppose I've gotten a few new subscribers, but if you've been here for a while, you know that in the fall and like before the last few weeks of August, last few weeks of 2020, I usually did a list videos on Wednesday. Exactly like slightly inspired by waiting on Wen- oh sorry waiting slightly inspired by what's the thing again, top 5 Wednesday, which was a thing like back in the day. I'm so old, but like a few years ago there's a thing that went around all of booktube where you have like a list of top 5 this, top 5 that, top 5 tropes, top 5 witches, etc, etc, etc. And yes, I kind of did list is inspired of that, which usually included top 5 of something. And yeah, and today I kind of do a similar video, and I'm thinking I'm gonna, as I say, going back to this. So this is my first renamed Renee Recommends, and today's video is focusing on. I'm still not sure what I want to call it. It's focusing on waiting on Marvel. So I suppose at the moment it's not that long a wait because WandaVision is coming out this week. Those both depends on like maybe it doesn't come out everywhere this week. You would hope, but like when, as you know, we got Disney Plus in last October, we didn't get both seasons of Mandalorian. So I suppose maybe we don't get WandaVision. Anyway, some people in the world get WandaVision this week. But like if you can't read it at the moment, or anyway, like if you like the Marvel movies, put in other words, if you like the Marvel movies, you like these books. And yeah, let's start. Also, this is technically not like a total return to top 5 because these are top 4. These are 4 books. Well, I have a 5th book that's kind of, I suppose, works. Yeah, it works. Though I don't own that because it's a book. It's a book series I read from the library. And you know what? Okay, yeah, it's a top 5, and I'll mention that one at the end because. So yeah, let's start. So this is the Heroine Complex series by Sarah Kuhn. Originally, it was it was a trilogy, but then last year, yeah, last year, sorry, a 4th book was released. This year, a 5th book is coming out, and I'm pretty sure that there's a 6th book coming up next year. So yeah, she decided to expand this universe and this world. So that's quite fun. And as you see, this is superheroes with it's based around Asian American superheroes. So it has what the Marvel movies don't at the moment, which like is Asian American focus. And yeah, so that's very cool. All of the books have these quite fun, colorful covers, which sometimes, I suppose, depends, but like some of the Marvel movies have. But I suppose you might ask yourself, well, how do you define why did you choose these books to recommend? I suppose it is kind of, in a way, a bit lazy because they are simply books that I love that has superheroes in them. And you also will notice one book that is not on the list. I'm going to talk about that later. But there are also kind of books that kind of give me slightly Marvel feel in the way that they all have some levity to them. They're not dry and very heavy and dense. They're all like chippy and upbeat. And they're very character focused, which the Marvel movies does. So yeah. Now I'm gonna move on to talk about this one more. So this one starts out with, so Alvida Jupiter, this character, she's kind of the main superhero in this world at this moment. Well, just one of the main ones. But very quickly in this book, she falls and hurts her foot. So she can't keep on fighting villains. But of course, someone has to. and because she uses a mask, not in this not in this picture, but you should usually use a mask so people don't really see her, or I don't really see her close up. So Evie Tanega, her personal assistant and her best friend, decides to go in and kind of tempt for her in a superhero way. And yeah, that's kind of how this book starts. Also, I suppose in a way that kind of deviates slightly from the Marvel universe is that this superhero series is based around lots of the villains are aliens, and how most of this because there's lots of superheroes in this world, not just one. Well, people with superpowers. I suppose they are not all superheroes, but yeah. Sorry. And the way that they all got the powers was that there was this big earthquake. So most of the people that have superpowers are like living around San Francisco, the LA area. But then after a while, you just go like, okay, it's not only that that's happening, but yeah. So, and each of these books takes place from a different, I suppose, slightly more companion series than a series, because each of the books takes place, have the point of view of one of the characters that are kind of like the big cast. So each new book has a new point of view, a new, I mean, new main character. And I suppose you could just read book one and be satisfied. It's not like after you read book one, and if you don't read book two or three because you don't have time or you don't want to read about the other characters, it's not like you'll be left like on a cliffhanger, because yeah, it's that each of the books kind of has a like isolated story, isolated plot, mystery, and story. But of course, if you read the whole series, you see Easter eggs, and you'll see like all of the cast are in all the books, and yeah, it's just a very delightful read. Highly recommend it. It has, as I said, it has African stories. Asian Americans are more or less kind of all that's kind of focused. Like the most of the characters are Asian Americans, uh, and then you have some queer representation in there, and yeah, you have other stuff like that also, and it's just great. Like both has great family plot lines, it has great romance plot lines, and all the plots are just amazing. Check it out. Then we have a book that's I feel like kind of we talked a bit more about lately, like last year before last. So it came out a few years ago. So I'm not sure why it's become much more known last year. But anyway, maybe someone talked about it, recommend it. Not sure. Anyway, it is Dreadnought by. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to say. This one is an adult supernatural series. Well, fantasy series. Well, I suppose it's more science fiction. So it's adult science fiction, though most of the books don't really have explicit sex scenes, or they might have one, but not. They usually it's just one or two. So you can read this, and there's no swearing in it. More or less, no. You can read this if you're like 16, 17, and you haven't really read sex scenes, or you're scared of sex scenes. This is a fine place to read. Don't worry about it. And yeah, sorry. So the Dreadnoughts by April Daniels. It's the first anthology. This is a YA series. The main plot around this is around like fighting villains, and but it's also about the main character being. So the main character is Dani Tosu, and she is trans. She was born in the wrong body, and so at the beginning of the book, she's trapped in a male body, and then very quickly she meets Dreadnought, which is kind of the code name of the what's the word? Code name of the code name of like the superpowered person. It's not his real name. It's the code. It's not her real name. It's the code name. And Dreadnought, this Dreadnought that's in the beginning, it's fatally injured. And but just before Dreadnought dies, she kind of decides to give away her powers to Danny, and in this happening, Danny gets she not only gets the powers, she also gets a female body, and then stuff happens after this. And yeah, it's a great, I would say, I believe it's a great narrative, like in having like a narrative around trans person, about how that life is. There's not like tons of trans persons point of views books in YA, or like in books in general. Might be wrong, but I don't think they're that much. At least not like non-fiction. Non-fiction, you have some books, but fiction, I don't really think you have that many. And I felt like this kind of, it felt like it gave a true insight into how it is to be trans, how the whole world is against you, and how, yeah, how, well, whole world, but yeah, how it might seem like the whole world's against you, and it just feels so wrong every day. And yeah, it's just great book. There's also some romance in this one, so that's nice for you there. It's also on own voices, so the, what's it, actor, the author is also trans, and yeah, just a great book, and the first in the series. Then we have sorry, another YA. I should kind of sorry. I suppose I should come clean. Most of these books are YA, except the one in the end and the one in the beginning. So yeah, but I suppose none of them are like bad YA. They're good. I suppose why would I talk about a book that I don't recommend and say like it's bad? I wouldn't. But like, I think they're books that you can read if you're 80 or 60 or 50 or 40. You don't really need to be teen or like in your 20s to enjoy these books. But yeah, now we have Not Your Sidekick, which I would say maybe is the one that's slightly most towards Marvel, in a way that there's lots of supervillains, and like they kind of the main overarching plot of this series is like kind of like have to go fight the corrupt state. And as you have like in Captain America Civil War, the state was the idiots there. So I suppose you could kind of put like a link to this one here. And yeah, so this is the first in the series. I would say kind of, in a way, maybe the most fun and most with the most levity. The other ones gets kind of much more like filled with world building, and like much more dire stuff happens. Like in this first one, yeah, there's a climax, of course, there's conflict, but I suppose it's a bit more like ha 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 ha, a bit more like a bit more fluffy in a way. So if like if you need a fluffy, fun superhero, check out this one. But just be warned, the rest of the series kind of gets yeah, very, well, more heavy in a way, more heavy I would say. And yeah, also this book, it's written by a bisexual author, and she's also Asian American. This protagonist is Asian American. Her friend is trans Italian American, and the other friend is Latinx and asexual. So you have lots of different different ethnicities, as well as different sexualities, and that's just very cool. Well, yeah, and this one is, yeah, it's the first in the series, and I kind of said, I would say kind of most of what I would say, and yeah, it's just great book. Check it out. Yeah, if you want to know, at this moment, there's 3 out of the 4 books. This series is gonna end with the last book. So the last book. It's a weird thing to say. It's gonna end with the 4th book. The 4th book is coming out this year. It's not out yet. It's coming out in the fall. I suppose not many books are out yet, but yeah, you know. But so as of now, there's 3 books in the series, so you can buy 3 books if you want to try this series. And then we have, I suppose, another slightly outlier in a way. This is Being Jamie Baker by Kelly Oram. So there is obviously superheroes in this one, but this one doesn't really have that much diversity in it. Except like, yeah, it's not really that much diversity. I might be wrong here, but like side characters are diverse, but not the main characters. So now you're warned. but it's still an amazing series. It's very, very good. This is the first. It's a trilogy. So this is the first in the trilogy, and then up next you have it's being Jane Baker, and then you have knowing Jane. Sorry, I forgot. But yeah, then we have a second book, and then the third book is remembering Jane Baker. So this is based around so this starts like when Jane Baker goes to a new school because stuff happens in her old school, and she can't kiss anyone because if she kisses people, she gives them electricity stunts. So of course that's a no-no, and of course she ends up kissing people. And I suppose this is kind of like the most tricky in a way. But sometimes it's not. It's also it's heavy at the end. It's kind of like whoa, whoa, whoa. So yeah, but also yeah, very very fun, delightful. So yeah, those are 4 out of 5. Sorry, out of 5 reads. So I'd say bye. But I remembered I have one last book I don't have here, but I'm just gonna tell you right, and that's actually a middle grade. Yeah, last book. Well, it's a book series. It is My Brother is a Superhero by David Solomons. This is a 5-book series, 4 books. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, this series is there's superpowers, but mostly it's kind of just 1 or 2 guys that have superpowers. It's not like lots of people have superpowers in this world. And sorry. And the superpowers comes from aliens, so you have that aspect. So it's kind of cool. Often, like in movies, there's often either the mutants or they kind of like they get superpowers by a biting spider or by falling down someplace. But they're lots in these books. They're super aliens. So yeah. So I said, yeah, My Brother is a Superhero. It's very very funny series. So the main character is like the younger brother, which blank at the moment. Sorry, completely blanking. But anyway, and he's so we they're he's with his brother in his words again, playing with his brother in his treehouse one evening. Main character has to go pee, and while he's peeing, his brother uh, meets an alien who gives him powers. So like, oh my god, my power! My brother got superpowers because I had to pee. So it's just so comical, and it's just it's very funny throughout. Also, just kind of very interesting, different villains and stuff. And I'll say kind of, I suppose much more on the humor side with this series. I suppose you might probably expect with Gilmore Girls, middle grade. But yeah, and that whole series is actually out. Oh yeah, I should probably say this whole series is finished. All the books are out. Haven't read the third book, but all the books are out. That one, the whole series is not out. Red Knots, both books are out. And Hero and Complex, as I said, not all books are out yet. So yeah, now you know that. And if you have any thoughts on any of these books, if you have any recommendations, if people love, if people for people who love superhero movies, please comment down below, and I'll see you later. Also, just kind of want to let you know, I do normally just post Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. This week I did yesterday, I'm doing tomorrow as well, because kind of, I just felt like it. So now you know that. And, yeah, bye!